Assalamu alaikum students. Now today we'll talk about scalar and vector quantities. Understanding distance and displacement as in the previous lecture without understanding scalar and vector quantity is incomplete. So let's see what is scalar quantity and what is vector quantity. First let's go to scalar quantity. Scalar quantity is the quantity with magnitude only and no direction. It means the quantity can be defined only with the help of magnitude. Now, what is magnitude? Magnitude is the numerical value that defines the measure of a quantity. It means it's some numerical value, some number that defines scalar quantity. Let's take an example of a scalar quantity: distance and speed. Let's take distance. For example, say you have a boy standing anywhere, say point at A, and let's suppose this boy starts moving from point A to point B. Now, let us say the distance covered by the boy from point A to point B is 10 meter. So what is this 10? What is this? 10. Okay. So this is nothing but numerical value which tells me the measure of a quantity. That is, it's giving me the measure of the distance. So this 10 meter is the magnitude, okay? Now when I talk of scalar quantity, we can define that quantity completely with the magnitude. So that means if I say that this boy covers a distance of 10 meter, so I'm not bothered about the path, yeah, about the distance, about the direction in which it moves, okay? Whether he went north, whether he went south or east or anything, so I'm not bothered about the direction. When we are happy only with the magnitude, we call that quantity as a scalar quantity. So distance is an example of scalar quantity. Now in case of distance, for instance, say a boy, he starts from A and he goes right, he goes left, then he takes turns, and say he reached point B. So what is your distance here? Simply the entire length of the path which he covers from A to B. We are we're not bothered here about the direction. We're not bothered about right, left, and turns and all that. We are just bothered about the length of the entire path which he covered. Okay. Now, when I talk of vector quantity is a quantity with both magnitude and direction. It means both. We have to explain a vector quantity by the help of numerical value and direction. So for instance, we have displacement and velocity. We have a lot of examples for vector quantity. Okay, so let's take displacement. So that means in this case, if I'm talking about displacement, then I should always mention it this way. Suppose same boy, he moves from point A to point B and he covers a distance of 10 meter. But we have to mention here displacement. So what's our displacement here? It means say 10 meter towards east. This east is the direction and this 10 meter is the magnitude. It means magnitude along direction. So that's our displacement. So whenever it's displacement, I should always need to mention direction. So we can say it this way, that distance plus direction is displacement. Distance with direction. Okay. So however, distance and displacement are not always the same. So understand the difference between the distance and displacement. Distance is a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector quantity. That is the first difference between distance and displacement. And the next one is that for distance, the nature of the path followed by the object matters. But when we talk about displacement, only the initial and final points matter. Nature of path doesn't matter at all. So far in motion, what did we see? In order to describe motion, we need position, and in order to describe position of an object, we take help of these two quantities, distance and displacement. And distance is a scalar quantity, the one having magnitude only, and displacement is a vector quantity, the one having both magnitude and direction. This was all about the scalar vector quantities and distance and displacement. Thank you, students.